Coming up on 5 Minute News. Supreme Court likely to reject student loan forgiveness. DOJ sues synthetic rubber company over cancer risk. And John Kerry seeks consensus on Amazon rainforest. It's Wednesday, March 1. I'm Anthony Davis. Republican justices holding the Supreme Court's majority seem ready to sink President Joe Biden's plan to wipe away or reduce student loans held by millions of Americans. In arguments lasting more than 3 hours yesterday, Chief Justice John Roberts led his Republican colleagues in questioning the administration's authority to broadly cancel federal student loans because of the COVID-19 emergency. Loan payments that had been on hold since the start of the coronavirus pandemic 3 years ago are supposed to resume no later than this summer. Without the loan relief promised by the Biden plan, the administration's top Supreme Court lawyer said delinquencies and defaults will surge. The plan has so far been blocked by Republican-appointed judges on lower courts. It did not appear to fare any better with the 6 justices appointed by Republican presidents. Biden's only hope for being allowed to move forward appeared to be the slim majority based on the arguments that the court would find that Republican-led states and individuals challenging the plan lacked the legal right to sue. That would allow the court to dismiss the lawsuits at a threshold stage, without ruling on the basic idea of the loan forgiveness program that appeared to trouble the justices on the court's far-right side. Federal officials sued a Louisiana chemical maker on Tuesday, alleging that it presents an unacceptable cancer risk to the nearby majority black community and demanding cuts in toxic emissions. Denka Performance Elastomer LLC makes synthetic rubber emitting the carcinogen chloroprene and other chemicals in such high concentrations that it poses an unacceptable cancer risk, according to the federal complaint. Children are particularly vulnerable. There's an elementary school half a mile from the plant. The former DuPont plant has reduced its emissions over time, but the Justice Department, suing on behalf of the Environmental Protection Agency, said the plant still represents an imminent and substantial endangerment to public health and welfare, including elevated cancer risks. The lawsuit, filed in the Eastern District of Louisiana in New Orleans, seeks a court order to force Denka to take immediate steps to reduce dangerous emissions of chloroprene. Air monitoring consistently shows long-term chloroprene concentrations in the air near Denka's Laplace plant, as high as 15 times the levels recommended for a 70-year exposure to the chemical, the complaint says. The complaint is the latest move by the Biden administration that targets pollution in an 85-mile stretch from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, officially known as the Mississippi River Chemical Corridor, but more commonly called Cancer Alley. The region contains several hotspots where cancer risks are far above levels deemed acceptable by the EPA. The White House has prioritized environmental enforcement in communities overburdened by long-term pollution. U.S. climate envoy John Kerry concluded his second day of meetings with Brazilian government officials yesterday, conveying his commitment to collaborate on preserving the world's largest tropical rainforest, but without detailing specifics. Kerry referred to the Amazon rainforest as a test of humanity and said that without its protection, it is impossible to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, as called for in the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, which Donald Trump left and Joe Biden quickly rejoined. A newly reactivated work group of the 2 nations will present its results on the Amazon, renewable energies and indigenous peoples at the April summit of the Group of 20 major economies, Environment Minister Marina Silva said. Kerry and Silva met first on Monday alongside Vice President Geraldo Alckmin and the head of the country's development bank, which administers the nation's Amazon Fund. The fund is an international effort to preserve the rainforest, channeling donations to prevent, monitor, and combat deforestation while promoting sustainability. Speaking to reporters beside Kerry after their Tuesday meeting, Silva said the US government still needs approval from Congress before it can earmark specific amounts of environmental funding. Brazil's President Lula da Silva was in Washington earlier this month with his US counterpart. A joint statement issued by both countries said that the US intends to form part of the Amazon Fund, which is majority financed by Norway and also receives support from Germany. After meeting Silva for a second time on Tuesday, Kerry reiterated the pledge. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.